Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to the first episode of Trough. You guys like that? The Trough. This is a show where I will bring people on, people I find interesting. And you know what? It might be people you've never heard of before, but these are people that I find interesting, and I want to bring them on and ask them a few questions. And I think you guys will find them interesting too. I call it the hog trough because we're also going to share a meal, right? So we're sort of mixing the mukbang up with interviews. Isn't that interesting? Okay, you guys, you ready? I'm going to bring on our guest. Now, before I bring him on, I'm going to tell you a little something about him, okay? His name is Mario, okay? Mario presents. This is what Mario's bio says. I'm a gay Hispanic conservative who's not afraid to show it. I wear my patriotism on my sleeve. I love my country, my friends, and I love to challenge the stereotype. I'm the progressive left's biggest threat. Well, this should be interesting, boys and girls, shouldn't it? All right. Well, without any further ado, here's Mario Presents. Hi, Mario. How are you?
Hi, Hoggy. I'm wonderful. And yourself?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for doing this. I mean, you're my first one, so you know what? You're breaking me in, and we're gonna see how it goes today. Okay?
Absolutely. I'm always happy to pop someone's cherry,
Oh,
girl.
I'm a lesbian. Okay, so just to let you
Oh,
know.
wow. That's okay. That's okay. I know you're a misgender woman. I've
Yes.
done my little bit of research on you. You're a beautiful, beautiful queen of a Nubian princess, let me tell you.
Oh, thank you. You want to know something about that, Mario? I recently my DNA just updated, and I lost 1% African. Yeah, it.
I'm sorry. That's just the white man trying to put you down, girl.
But listen, but you know what happened? It actually added. I actually got a lot more in my Latin bloodline, in the Portuguese and
Oh,
Spanish.
cha cha cha.
That's right. That is right. You know what? Chupa me panocha. I know I could
No,
speak
there you go.
Spanish already. I could speak it already. Okay,
You're
so anyway,
halfway there, girl.
oh my God, yeah. So Mario, I noticed you're eating In-N-Out Burger.
I am. I am. I figured for Hog Trough, let's enjoy something that's Christian. They even have their little Bible verses down here at the bottom of their cups. Chick-fil-A's a little closed today because it is Sunday, but I figured why not support a wonderful Christian company like In-N-Out?
I didn't realize that. So they put a Bible verse at the bottom of the cup.
Yes, ma'am. They do. They put it. Let's see right here. John 3:16. Let's see if I can get it.
Oh,
Let's
isn't
see.
that the one where it's something you come among, you something about finding the
He
Lord?
so loved his. He so loved the world. He gave up his son.
Oh, his only begotten son. That's it. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I think that's kind of neat that they put that down there. They did not shove it in your face. They put it in a little fun little spot.
They
Well,
did.
how
They did.
neat.
They did.
Well, I'd like to say hello to a lot of my audience. I see a lot of you saying hi. I can't individually address all of you, but trust me, I notice. Mario, you might want to know there's 226 people watching right now. So, and
Wow, you
that's a
guys.
big number. You know what? I think they're really interested in seeing you, Mario, and seeing your point of view. And somebody's already starting. Let me just put this up here right now. Um,
Oh,
yeah, Nicola. Yeah, Nicola, you're already starting in with the profanities. You know, we want to hear Mario's point of view. I have my own political views, and you guys know that, okay? So Mario has his own, and that's why we're here. We're here to learn, and we're here to understand each other because you know what, honey, we're all not carbon copies of each other, and we're gonna have to live with each other. And I'm sure you'd much rather live in peace than war. Okay.
absolutely. And it would be a very boring place if we were all just like one another.
Oh, I know. I just couldn't imagine if we were all like that girl I no longer remember. But anyway, I'm going to show you what I'm eating. You're eating In-N-Out, and I'm eating sushi. I'm eating sushi, and I'm eating some rice. Mario, I have a question for you. Do
Yes,
you
dear.
prefer chow mein fried rice? Which
I
do you
prefer what?
which do you prefer? Chow mein fried rice.
I like chow mein.
Oh, I do too. I really do, but I got fried rice right now. So, okay, so you know what? There's no
Rice
easy.
is better for the digestion, sweetie.
What's that?
Rice is better for the digestion.
Oh, you know what? It probably is. It's
And
not.
I got the only fries that you have to eat with a fork because when you're
Oh,
going in and out, you can't just eat off of the regular menu. You have to choose something that's off menu. These are
oh,
animal style fries. They put grilled onions and cheese and whatever it is, this secret sauce. This is the only way to eat French fries, ladies and gentlemen. If you live in California, we need to do that. And Mr. William, I need to tell you, no soy blanco, no soy ni americano, soy mexicano. I'm not white, baby. It's so cute that they call me a white male Nazi, but I'm not white. I'm actually very brown. I'm 69% indigenous. So it's okay. You're on my land. I'll let you hang out here and say the things that you want to say because I support freedom.
oh, Mario. You know what? Mario. If we could all be like that, if we could all just, live and let live in the same place. I mean, we all live on, somebody else has lived everywhere at some time, and
Mm-hmm.
you kind of, you know, I don't know. People get. I don't know why William would say that. So it seems like we've
And we've
gone
all had slaves.
right. I mean, let's be honest. We all have. I mean, I,
Mm-hmm.
Can I be honest with you? My wife's name is Marquina. She actually said she said she would love to have a slave,
Oh my goodness, that is,
and
you know,
she's a black woman.
one time, God bless my mother's heart, I told her, because she's like, Mario, go take the trash out. And I looked at her and I said, what color do I look? Like, I'm brown,
Oh,
girl. She goes, you're brown, you're going to do it for cheap. In fact, you're going to do it for nothing because I'm your mother.
Mario, my
My,
goodness.
my, my mom got some sass, and that seems like it rubbed off on me.
Well, yeah, I could see that. You learned it somewhere. So,
Absolutely.
so Mario, can I ask you?
Yes, dear.
I've done some investigative work on you. I have.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know what I found out? I found out you were actually in the rodeo.
I was.
You're in the
I
rodeo.
was. Once upon a, yeah. It's I
Oh,
don't really like to talk about it a lot because it was so long time ago, far away in a galaxy different.
okay.
But yes, I used to ride bulls. I used to ride steer. I used to ride in the Gay Rodeo Association here in
There's a
California.
there's a gay rodeo.
Yes, there is, girl. And we do
What?
all kinds of fun events. We're very inclusive. We allow our boys to do barrels. So an event that is normally expected to be for girls, where they go around the barrels and the horse, that's only for girls, boys can participate in that event. And
Wow,
bull riding, where girls are not allowed to be bull riders in the regular professional bull riding association, the girls are allowed to participate in the gay rodeo. Believe that. They're very
wow,
inclusive.
how inclusive. People can learn from, really the gay community. I mean,
Mhm.
that part of the gay community. A lot of people tend to think that the gay community is like a monolith and everybody's the same. And I don't think that the message has got out that there are many different people within the community.
Oh, absolutely. They think that it's just every gay is going to be, honey, this curtains just look so terrible. We need to decorate this all fantastically. And yes, some
Right.
of us are like that,
Oh
but not
yeah.
all of us. Some of us
And
like
it's
to get down
fun.
and dirty. I have friends who like to work on cars. I have friends who like to work with horses. I have friends who like to ride dirt bikes. They run the gambit. Gays are not one group. We are many different people from many different backgrounds.
Wow, that yeah, it is very interesting. And I want to thank Shannon Lee for your super chat, your super sticker. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. And I'm going to say again, hello to everybody in the group watching. I can't address you guys because this is an interview-based show right now, but I will see some questions when I have time to look. Of course, especially if it's a super chat or a super sticker, then I notice it. But Mario, have you always identified as a I don't know why I don't like that identify. It seems like such a new word to say I identify as this or but when did you discover you were a conservative?
I discovered I was a conservative when I started getting deep into the rodeo association. I
Okay.
found that there was a lot of patriotism in the rodeo association. Most of these people, you have to have a job in order to own a horse. You need to have money in order to maintain another life as large as an equine.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that they really were hand in hand, conservatives and patriots and the cowboy scene. So that's really when I fell into this idea that what is conservatism, the focus on family, the focus on hard work and showing love for your country. And I think about 23, 24 is when I really, it hit me that yes, I'm a conservative. I was 21, I was partying in Hollywood. I did the drugs. I was raped. Uh, I'm a small frame man, and so I was taken advantage of by someone larger than me. And I ran home with my tail between my legs. I said I need to reset. I reset for about 6 months, and I went back out there. I had made some friends while I was out there. I kind of associated myself with more of the cowboy people as opposed to the party goers. And they ended up taking me under their wing and showing me this way of life that I can live, be successful, be happy, and be free of this drug laden party lifestyle where you're going to end up with either a disease or just truly unhappy with who you create. So I didn't want to be that, and I became who I am, which is a conservative Hispanic.
Wow, how interesting. So, but before that, I mean, I'm sure you had. I mean, everybody does. I believe, I guess, and have some sort of conservative values. I think if I think everybody does, and I guess what that was your tipping point. What you decided this party life isn't for me. This
Mm-hmm.
stereotypical gay party life isn't for
Yeah.
me, and
It's
you
not for
being
me. And it wasn't going to make me happy. I knew from a very young age, from the way I was raised, that you want to find someone to share your life with. You want someone who's going to have the same goals as you. And that's what's truly going to make you happy. And when I was out there partying, I'm looking for the next best thing. And you're never really going to find it if you're just partying from one person to another person, from a club to an, you become numb to what's really important. And that's what I had to get away from.
it seems like for men anyway. I don't I never really lived the lesbian lifestyle, until I got with Marquina, and we just kind of
Mm-hmm.
hooked up. I want to thank McAllister 55. I'm assuming Texas for the tip. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, so I never did that whole party thing, and I would assume that that would be a very it just brings temporary satisfaction for the
It
moment,
does.
and it's not I mean I sure it could lead to a lifetime a relationship. It could, but you kind of get beat up along the way and see a lot of ugly things as well, and I could see that that would be a big turnoff.
Right. And that's really what led me away from the LGBT community
Yeah.
because I didn't want to be falling prey. When I became in a relationship, in a stable relationship, we decided like, hey, let's go out with our friends. It's not that far. We've only been dating for a little while. We can go hang out at the bar with our friends. It's gonna be cool. And then I'm getting grabbed. I'm getting my butt grabbed. I'm getting hit on. And I'm going, wait, I don't want you. I'm with this person, but they don't care that I'm with this person. They just care that I'm a new person. I'm fresh meat. And I didn't want that. So that is when I realized that I really don't want to be part of that scene in any way, shape, or form because they're going to try to do is do whatever it is they want to do, and they're not going to respect my boundaries. So I had to walk away from that.
And I'm wondering, and I know I have a lot of heterosexuals in the audience, and I'm wondering, is that something that heterosexuals deal with? I'm
I
not
don't
sure if, like, I wonder if they deal with that, like with,
know.
say a man brings his woman into a group with other men. Do the men grab her boobs, and you know what I mean? Is there an expectation of maybe sex and partner swapping? I don't know. I'd like to know if the heterosexuals can chime in on that. But it just seems like maybe it doesn't go on. I mean, maybe we would have heard of it. I don't
We
know.
would have heard of it. But I mean, I know swingers happen. I know that
Right.
happens in the heterosexual community, but I don't think it happens with such prevalence as you would find in the gay community where you have bear parties and they're just sex parties. or pool parties, and it's just everybody's naked in the pool. That's not okay. And to me, the community has given ways to say that that's okay because they're not going to have kids. The heterosexuals can't really swing and be with each other's partners because then they run the possibility of, oops, your friend is my dad, not you're my dad. So they tend to be a little more careful about these things. Whereas the gay community tends to be more flippant. A pill's going to take care of it. I can take a pill for HIV. That means I can bareback. And to me, that's not okay. I would
No.
never share my body with someone who doesn't already share my heart.
Oh, that's so you're really a romantic.
I am.
You are. And I would think a lot of the gay people are very and it's back to what you said about like pregnancies and stuff like that. I think it's funny because I know gays wanted marriage equality so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I don't really think they tend, and I'm not saying there are some, of course, but I think in general they don't really kind of respect the institute of marriage, where they just want the paper and they want the financial, security or the benefits, but they really sort of keep that nightclub lifestyle and they still sleep around, and there's no real commitment to a 100% relationship with the person
Right.
that they've
And
been married to
even
or
in
whatever.
my own experiences with my husband, within the first few years, and now we moved to a new town. We had to make new friends, and in meeting these new friends, first question is, how long have you been together? And the second question is, are you guys open or closed? Meaning, is our relationship open or is it closed? Because for them, that's important. They want to know whether they have a chance to get in bed with one of us.
So it's a conversation. They just say, "Hey, are you guys monogamous?"
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
And we've been told you can't hang out with us because we don't play like that. You're trying to be straight. You want to be hetero, and we don't like that. We're not down with that. So we've
And
been
this is in Southern California.
absolutely.
Wow. Wow, that's really Amanda says, "I know my husband's friends flirt with me when he leaves the room." So maybe they're more on the down low with it. The
Maybe they are,
heterosexual.
but yeah,
They,
very much so. So in our community,
yeah.
it's very upfront.
I mean, of
Don't do it in
course.
front of your wife.
Yeah, and of course we know that they cheat. We know that. We all know that but in the gay community it seems to be very expected or
Hmm.
uh respected. In some aspects it's respected to be that way. And well, like you were, you no longer, the friends didn't want to hang around with you or anything anymore. And it's
Yeah.
like somebody said, what part of Southern California? I don't know. Wait, is Mario part of the Californian? Oh, the fisting scene. Um,
No.
if Mario's gonna fist, he's made it very clear he'll do it with his husband.
If I'm gonna do anything like that to you and my husband, but no, I am not into any of the BDSM, S&M. I'm really not. I'm very vanilla. Sorry, guys.
So you
Hate to
you
break it to you.
you sound very traditional, Mario.
I am very traditional. I come from
You're
a very
just
traditional home.
the only thing that isn't traditional is your sex life with the person you're with. But other than that, do you have any children?
No, I would love to have children, and I always joke, but I'm half, while it's a joke, it's still hot, rooted in truth. I always tell people, if you ever want to drop off a child in my house and say, I'm done with my child, take it. I will take it happily. Any size, I'm happy. I
You're
accept cash, Venmo, PayPal, bars of gold, small children, all of the above.
so you're like the drop off house for
That's right.
unwanted children.
That's
So
right.
has anybody taken you up on that offer yet?
Hasn't happened yet. I had a friend who said that she had an oops and she was interested, and ultimately she chose termination. And so I was brokenhearted, but it's one of those things where as long as I offer that door for them, I think I'm doing the right thing. So if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to push the issue. I can't go out and snatch children. I'm not Maxine Giswell, and I'm not Jeffrey Epstein.
Chrissy A says, "What does not wanting attention from others when you are in a committed relationship has to do with being gay?" I don't think it has anything to do with being gay. We're just happen to be talking about the gay community at the moment.
We're happening to tell let you know that it happens with much more frequency in our community, and it's expected in our community. That's what it has to do with being gay, is that it's much more prevalent. In it, being gay for a lot of people goes hand in hand with being liberal and the idea of free love and being free with your sexuality and free with your sex, and that's for me not okay.
And then she continues with, that's how mature people act. It doesn't have anything to do with being a liberal or a conservative. Well, honey, we know that. We're right now we're just talking about his relationship and his experience in the gay lifestyle of Southern California. We haven't even got into the liberal or conservative issue, and we do know that it can happen in regular relations. I'm sorry, not regular, heterosexual relationships, but um, we're just talking that it in the gay culture it is very it's very out there. It's not a
Part of the
hidden.
handshake.
Yeah. Um, Tanya says baiting and trolling. You are in a conservative, Trump supporting room praising Obama. It's oh, that's okay. I don't care if there's an Obama. You know what, you guys? I my audience is a very diverse audience. And when I say diverse, it's not just color. You know, who cares about color, really?
Hmm.
That means nothing. Okay? We're talking about ideas and conversations. We like the diversity of ideas, okay? And this is how you how can you formulate your ideas through your experience and your intelligence and your knowledge and whatever. You have no control over your color. I don't think diversity should be measured in color because each color is not a monolith. I mean, just because I appear to be a Caucasian person doesn't mean I'm a Karen or I think about you know what I'm saying. It's really strange. And just because Mario is a Latino doesn't mean he eats refried beans all day. I mean, we're not like that. We're our color and our ethnicity really is an accident. It means
Yeah.
to me diversity is more what you bring to the table. you know so people, okay, they're talking about, yeah, and Mario's bringing In and Out. How about that? Hey, you people out there, come on, look at his In and Out burger. Look at that.
It's delicious. It's
Are-
animal flesh.
so what did you get, Mario? Did you get a double double or a single?
Oh, girl, I get double double every time. Double double, light onions. Because too
Did
many onions and you get real gassy.
you ever get a 3x3 or a 4x4? You ever do
When I'm
that?
extra hungry, I do a 3x3. But if I want to be healthy, I ask for it wrapped in lettuce. What they call it, protein
Oh,
style, wrapped in
that's
lettuce.
right. They do that. I forgot.
The
I was on
secret menu, guys.
when I care about my carbs, I've done the lettuce wrap one. Um, so let me ask you. I got a couple things on here, Mario. Let me
Yeah.
remind myself. I'm an old lady, okay, and I need little notes and stuff. Um, Mario, I don't know how far back you want to go. I did investigate when you were a child. You were an entertainer. Is that
Was.
something you want to talk about?
We can talk about that.
Okay, you guys. Mario used to be a child. He was in a band, right? Were you the
Mm.
singer?
I
What were you?
was the front man.
Were you like a Backstreet Boy, or what were you, Mario? You want to
It
tell
was a
us
little
what?
more like Menudo or like
Oh,
Hanson, but it was cute. So, funny story. My brother is a very gifted guitarist, and he was like, "I want to be in the talent show, mom. I want to be in the talent show, mom." And before you know it, my mom is helping him. My other brother, you can play bass. My other brother, you can play drums. And I hear my brothers trying to pick up a song, and I'm at the top of the stairs. You guys suck. You guys suck. I can sing better than you. And of course, mom, get down here. Let's see. And sure enough, I became the front man for his little band so he could do the talent show at his school. And that blossomed into us performing for the local festivals here in the Antelope Valley, church festivals here in the Antelope Valley, as well as in the San Fernando Valley. We
Oh,
even made it to the point where we were performing on City Walk, just like the
oh,
street performers. We were performing Kathy Najimy. If you don't know who she is, if you watch Sister Act, she was a kind of chubby nun.
I
Kathy
remember her.
Najimy. Kathy Najimy was my boss.
How
She's
neat, Mario.
a sweetheart. So I have no fear of being in front of people because I've already had to dance and shake and wiggle and do my thing for complete strangers for tips at
Oh
City
my
Walk. So this is why what I do, which is rallying in heels, and I go to Trump rallies and I just be myself on the corner. That's one of the reasons why I'm just so not afraid to do that because I've already had to overcome that fear as a little kid.
Now, let me ask you this. Look, I'm going to pop up a picture right now, and I want people to see it. And we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is Mario. Mario, do you remember where you were during this picture?
I do.
What were you doing?
So I was in Huntington Beach. We were trying to reopen our country. It
Okay,
had been 30 days since the lockdown, 30 days to slow the spread. So we were on that 30th day. It was April 17th. We decided to go out to Huntington Beach and try to rouse up the city and try to wake you guys up and say, hey, this mask thing is overblown. We now know from the CDC that no 200,000 people died. It was 6% of those 200,000 who were actually affected by COVID. So the numbers weren't really what they should have been. And so this was that moment. I was crossing the street and trying to join my friends and raise awareness that we need to wake up our country. We need to open up our country.
and the shoes. I know you're very the fact that you wear those shoes, and I want to say thank you, Holly Parks. It's very sweet of you. Um, the shoes that you wear. Is there a story behind that, and why do you do that? I know you get noticed for it. I do realize that. So is it like a trademark of yours?
It's kind of become a trademark. It's one of those things. I decided to do it because, okay, I can wear a rainbow shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I can wear a rainbow hat. I can carry a rainbow flag, but nothing drives the hammer home that this person is unique like something very different. I have friends like you who dress up in different characters. I have friends like Lady Maga who does a complete right wing character. And I thought, how can I do this? I've been around drag queens and I've always been enamored with the idea of a man in heels. And then when I started doing the history and realizing that men in heels actually goes back a very, very long time to the time of kings and queens and King Philip. King
It
Philip
really
was a short
does.
man. He wanted the stature. He wanted to feel higher than the lower peons, quote unquote, the average people. But then you also had the
Mhm.
social impact of men back then. If you were riding horses, you develop beautiful calf muscles because you're posting on your horse. You're posting on your saddle. So
Uh-huh.
that was another reason why men started to wear elevated shoes to accentuate that calf muscle if it wasn't developed. So you have trend, which is the society, and then you have function, which is the king trying to feel higher than his people. And then flash forward to what Prince did. If you guys have ever watched Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince, he was a short man and he did what he did in heels. And I thought, why can't I do that? I'm gay. I have no fear. I can go out in heels. And so I started doing it and it has become my trademark and I just do it. I feel more comfortable in those on the corner than I do in flats.
Isn't that funny? And I was it's funny because I was gonna mention Prince. And I was thinking, Prince, I bet he has beautiful calves. He is I don't even recall ever seeing him in flats. Um, I want you to recognize, okay, this person right here. He goes by Virus 2020 Trump. The attention seeking gaze has multiplied. This is a person that it's funny. I have a love hate relationship with this person. It's funny because we playfully disagree on mostly everything, and we jab with a little put down here and now, here again. That's how I know that they're an older person because they can play like that. I notice a lot of the young people can't play like that anymore. You can't. There's no. You gotta. You got to show the utmost respect and honor the person constantly, constantly to make them feel good in the relationship. But this person right here, we go back and forth, and they'll find a misspelling in something and make sure they highlight that, and you know. But I have a lot of fun with this person. I think they're a smart person. We just have different political views, but that doesn't mean I don't like them. I do. I actually like this person, even though they say things like this. Um, but I think that is, I think, a marker of, I would say, somebody who isn't ultra liberal. Um, those people, in my view, they tend to be very rigid, which they claim not to be, and I find that they are not very all inclusive. And I'll tell you, I, that you're a good person to ask. How have you discovered? How have the conservatives treated you? I notice you have a Trump hat on. This is
I
the first
do.
time we're talking about Trump.
Yes.
Um, so you're obviously a fan.
I'm a
You're obvious.
huge fan of our president. In the past 366 days, I have been to three Trump rallies.
Wow.
And I've been interviewed by the president's press secretary twice. I've taken a picture with his um, personal assistant. I met his speechwriter. I'm a fan. I didn't think I would get this close and in any way, shape, or form to the man in charge. But I have found so much love in the conservative movement from the day I went out there in my stilettos. The conservatives here in Los Angeles were like, that guy is cool. That guy's not afraid. I like his style. I go to the Trump rallies and I get the exact same thing. I like his style. He's a little different, but you know what? That's okay because that helps show the diversity of the party. So people will say I'm a token. Sure, that's what you want to call me. Fine. Then every single black person who ever goes out to a Trump rally is a token. Every single Asian who goes out there, Cambodians, and I've seen every single color of the rainbow out there, and everyone's trying to make themselves seen and known in their community and in the overall picture. So what other way am I going to do it? Which is what I do in my either heels or flag or combination of both. And the conservative movement has welcomed me with open arms.
Now, and you, like you said, you go in your heels, and you're also a Latino man, and I'm assuming that a lot, and I do get it. I'm not. I'm Everybody knows I'm not a Trump person, and I'm not here to talk about my politics. We're here to talk about
Right.
you. But how can I put it? At any point, have you received any kind of disrespect? I mean, and it's not that it would even be, I guess, out of the question that you would find at least some disrespect. I mean, you've been to three rallies. You've been, and I know those, and I know he brings in an audience. I know he brings in thousands and thousands of people. So I would assume, in the thousands of people that you have encountered, probably at this point, a million people, you've been to so many events. What kind of disrespect or adversity have you run into at these events?
Yeah. So I personally have not found any adversity at a Donald Trump rally. I've seen looks like I don't understand it, and then they kind of warm up to it, and they slowly come around. But it was at a regular rally on the corner. I was at Huntington Beach. We were at the pier. We were trying to reopen our state, and I did have someone from the far right who was a religious person. I'm out there in my stilettos with my flag, and all of a sudden I hear someone behind me go, sodomite.
Did you say
What?
sodomite? Oh,
And I
sodom.
said, I ignored it at first, and then I hear it again, sodomite. What? Sodomite. And I whip around, and there's this guy in a nice shirt and slacks holding his Bible. And I said, did you just call me a sodomite? And he goes, well, he's like, yeah. He's like, you're gay and you're parading like that. I said, wait. You want to get on me because of how I choose to express myself? Let's sit down and have a conversation. And he
Right.
immediately reverted to get back. God
Right.
will, God rebuke thee, God rebuke thee, back homosexual, I rebuke thee. And I just became myself and I said, no, no, really, I want to have a conversation. Come on. And I basically chased this guy down, trying to have a conversation with him in my 7-inch sparkle stiletto heels. The entire audience is watching me because you're going to call me a sodomite, I'm going to make a scene. And that's exactly what I did. And as soon as he was gone and basically ran away, he didn't want to talk to us, he didn't want to engage in any way, shape, or form. At that point, I had to fend off, and this is the best way to describe it. I had to fend off people coming up to me and saying, I'm so sorry for his behavior. He does not
Oh,
speak for me as a conservative. And I understand that. They don't need to say that to me. I
right.
understand that he does not speak for all of them. And it's unnecessary but appreciated. And so for 30 minutes afterwards, I had people coming up to me. I mean, I still get chills from that. Person after person telling me, I saw what happened. I don't appreciate it. He is not welcome here anymore. We're not going to let him back. And I'm like, you guys don't do that. Don't do that. Let him be himself because we cannot stifle free speech. He has his point of view, and even if we disagree and he has to run away from the conversation, that's okay. As long as he's not physical, as long as he's not violent with me, he has a place at the table.
Well, the thing is, it's funny because I do understand this, that a lot of gay people, they understand pain, and they understand how can we put it, just unfair things, and
Mm-hmm.
people, making fun of you and things. So he probably didn't understand that you were, a strong man. All he saw was a guy in heels and a sodomite, but he didn't see the strong man. And I think that a lot of people tend to overlook that. They don't understand that. And the fact that you even gave him the time of day and said, "Hey, let's talk about it." He was not prepared for that. He was not prepared for that at all. He thought you were going to be a stereotypical gay and probably, call him a homophobe and act all sassy and with him and stuff. But you were actually approached him as a man and said, "Hey, let's talk about this, dude." And he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
Right.
And I think that he's a coward. He was a coward. He did not have he could not talk to you about his beliefs. And I just think that really says something, that he's out there with his signs and he's out there with everything else to be seen, but he really didn't want to actually have a conversation, and didn't even want to bring you to Jesus. And I think that that's kind of odd, that he didn't even care whether you were, a Christian or saved or going to hell or heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Right.
think he was really doing God's work out there.
No, because at that point you're not doing God's work. At that point you're doing your own work.
It's true. He was using he was using religion to support his bigotry.
Yes.
And now let me ask the other side. I'm sure you have dealt with protesters. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
you have dealt with other Hispanics, gays. I'm sure you get called a sellout. I know you do. And so what has been your experience with dealing with the adversity from the other side, your own family,
My own family.
Yeah,
I went to West Hollywood Pride in 2019, and within 30 seconds of getting out of my vehicle, someone shouted at me and told me, F Trump, you should die because I was wearing my red hat within 30 seconds of getting out of my car. I've been called FAG. I've been called, every single name. I don't let them get to me. I tend to turn things around.
right.
My favorite is when the BLM characters and the Antifa characters, they get real huffy, like, yo, what up, what's up? They start grabbing themselves and they start, what's up? And they tell me, suck my D, suck my dick. And I turn on that LGBT sparkle and I say, well then honey, pull it out. Let's see it. It's probably like this. And they don't want to play anymore. That's right. So I've dealt with the haters, and when dealing with haters from my own kind, quote unquote, the LGBT and the Hispanics who call me traitor and whatnot, I don't care. I keep playing their games the same exact way they do, and I twist it around so then they're the ones who are embarrassed because there's almost nothing you can do to embarrass me.
Right. I mean, you're already that's the thing is you're already out there in heels. Your feet hurt, you look fabulous, and you've heard it all. So you're already a target, and you know that. And so, and
Yes.
to really put a target on your back is really a sign of bravery. You know you're going to get it, and I don't think that people are prepared for the strength that you probably throw back at them. You know, they because they think you're an easy target, and I think that happens a lot. It happens a lot. They think gays are weak, or the fact that you're smaller than them. They'll think you're weak, and and they do. They automatically think that gays are weak. I know that they do. They do
Right.
think that. And that you just snap right back at them, and they don't know how to take it because they probably have never dealt with it before. But so you are saying, so you have directly dealt with Antifa and Black
Oh
Lives,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
combative.
yeah. Very competitively, like on the field. I'm not afraid to run right up to them and get in their face and say no. Because the funny thing is as aggressive as I can be, they refuse to put me on any of their pictures, any of their flyers. I keep an eye out to see what Antifa's doing in my community, whose picture they've got, who are they trying to dox this week. I have yet to come up. And it's not that I'm trying to make myself a target, but it's one of those things where why wouldn't they want to attack a gay man? Oh, wait, because the optics of you attacking or doxing a man in
Right.
stilettos who, although is aggressive with you, it's the optics are going to make it so that everybody watching isn't going to support you anymore. So you can't. You have to look the other way. Antifa looks the other way. BLM looks the other way. The media looks the other way. No one wants to know that a person like me exists.
Jesse Fawcett has a question, and I'm sure you are very familiar with this question. How can you support Donald Trump when he called Mexicans racists and criminals?
So, what I would tell Jesse is that Jesse needs to watch that entire clip because he didn't call all Mexicans rapists and criminals. He said many people who are illegal who come in from Mexico, especially MS-13, which is a known gang, are rapists and criminals. MS-13 has a very long history of immigrating into our country illegally and trafficking drugs and humans and abusing people. So that's what he was talking about when he was referring to Mexicans as rapists and criminals. It wasn't Mexicans, it was the drugs and the gangs that are brought by the Mexican criminals across the border into the United States.
And, and we know, okay, you guys, I'm not a fan of Trump's, but I also respect the truth. Regardless of if it is something true about someone I don't necessarily like. A lot of people tend to forget that in that statement, he ended it with, I'm sure there are some good people.
Mm-hmm.
When he went down the line of naming criminals, rapists, and then he said, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are some good people as well. I
Mm-hmm.
do notice that piece of it tends to get dropped off of that quote,
Mm-hmm.
and it's out there for anybody to see. But I do realize a lot of people, they don't really necessarily care about politics. They care about what Rachel Maddow says, or they care what Don Lemon says, and Sean Hannity. They don't really care about the truth. They care about the opinion that they're going to be fed, so they could parrot that video, and they never know the truth. And I understand the media counts on people really being stupid and not looking for the truth themselves. The truth is very easy to find. Now, granted, it is getting harder, but you might have to dig. You might even have to look at international news. But you just can't Google and see the top story. That's not it, because a lot of those are paid for. You know,
Right.
so I think if people really care, not just about hate, but care about truth, then you might want to investigate things that kind of seem a little weird to you.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Thank you, Chrissy. I appreciate that. Okay, Chrissy is echoing what I said. Trump also said there were fine people in the KKK. Are you?
What?
I think you're talking
No.
about
I think he was talking
Charlottesville.
about Charlottesville when they had the
Yeah,
Unite the Right rally.
and it's
And
the same thing as the Mexicans. The media did the
right.
same thing. Yeah.
That's exactly the same thing. I mean, Joe Biden actually sniffs children. I mean, that's video after video. He sniffs people. Like he's over there
And I'm not a
all up
fan
in
of
there.
Biden. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Joe Biden either. And that's the thing is they have truth right in front of their face. And that's what's so funny is I think it's odd and both sides do it. Okay, both sides do it. Whoever you support is a saint, and whoever you don't support is the devil. And
That's
it's
right.
like, well, you know what? But you could like Joe Biden all you want, but those videos are not hidden of him. They're out
No.
there. They see, and it's not just smelling. Oh, like say, so let's just suppose some kid was in front of you and you go, oh, their hair smells good. But when
Right.
you smell every child, when there are videos of him grabbing little girls by their boob, and then the girls pulling away, and you could see the looks on these girls' faces. I mean, whatever happened to believe all women? Believe their face, believe their reaction. They don't like
Right.
it. I mean,
They don't like
you
it.
know,
You see it.
I don't understand when did people just sort of forget about little girls? Like,
Right.
oh,
I
they're
mean,
just
nobody wants some creepy old man going, "Come here, baby, let me get a test." You're like, ugh.
I mean, and and then I see videos or pictures of Joe Biden even doing that to women, and I've seen pictures of him doing it to women, and the men on either side of him are looking at each other like, "What's going on?" Like, just really, people look at these things and look at the surroundings and look at the people, and it's like it's right there. I mean, if you're going to be so critical of, say, Donald Trump, why can't you use that same laser focus on Joe Biden, but you won't do it?
Correct.
And I don't
No.
understand that. I don't understand. And not only that, that man, you could find more quotes of racism from I'm sorry, from Joe Biden than Donald Trump. I mean, Joe Biden goes, hey, you could say what
The
you want
kids
about
like to rub my leg hair in the pool up and down. It was blonde in the sun.
right. And that's the thing though. And that's the thing. Let's be honest. I mean, like I said, I'm not a Trump fan, but this is the thing. You knew who he was when he became president. You knew exactly what you were getting. Whether you may not have voted for him, people, I get it, but he was, it's funny because no one has really been able to rip the mask off Donald Trump and find the real person. You see
No.
the real person, and he's not a perfect person. He's loud, he's boisterous, he's narcissistic, he brags. And you know what? The funny thing is, they want that in job interviews at Amazon. When I worked at Amazon, they wanted you to be like Donald Trump. Tell them how great you are. Because
Yeah.
if you don't say how great you are, nobody
No.
else will. Because everybody else is there like wolves trying to tear you down.
That's
And
right.
especially when you have maybe a boss, a supervisor, coworkers, or even the media who are not there to show the good things that you have done, you're going to have to toot your own horn. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing. And I'll tell you this, since, I'm an old lady, and they have been talking about peace in the Middle East since the day I was born and before the day I was born. And I bet you there's a lot of people watching right now who have no idea what's been going on. The peace treaties that are going on between, the Arab Emirates and Israel and Bahrain, and they're going to bring in other countries. That the Middle East, Donald Trump is brokering peace in the Middle East right now. And I
It was
guarantee
a
you,
joke in the 80s. It was a huge joke in the 80s. I remember being a little kid because I was born in 1980. And I remember
yeah,
being a kid like, peace in the Middle East, peace in the Middle East. That's a cool thing, peace in the Middle East. It was a big joke.
yeah, they'll never. But I guarantee, but you know what? If that was, say, another president, like the favored Obama, oh my God. I mean, he got a Peace Prize for what?
Right.
But, so I don't, whether you like the dude or not, you can't ignore these facts. You just can't, okay? You can
I
hate
mean,
them
as a
all.
gay man, as a gay man, I really 100% support Trump because of this program that he put in place,
Okay.
which helps gay men and women and heterosexual men and women who are living with HIV and AIDS. He put in a program to direct money and direct medication for these people who can't afford it. If you can't afford your medicine, you apply for this program and you will get free Truvada so that you can maintain your disease, stabilize your disease, and hopefully get it under control so that you can live a long, prosperous life. He pledged to get rid of AIDS and HIV by the year 2030. A man who doesn't like the LGBT wouldn't be pushing something like that. If he was really a homophobe, he would be trying to gut every single one of these programs so that they can kill themselves with their own behavior. And he's not. He's trying to wake them up saying, "No, I want you to live."
And from what I do understand is he seems to have also a lot of gays on his staff. And
Washington, from
from
what
what
I
I
understand, is
understand,
very gay.
I'm sorry.
Washington, D.C., from what I'm to understand, Tucker Carlson was talking about it on Friday. He found out that most of the staffers and most of the people working in D.C. are LGBTQ, and more so in the Republican side than even on the Democrat side.
Really? Wow. Um, Now we had touched on this prior, child trafficking, and I have seen you protesting at like Save the Children events and stuff like that. What is that about?
So, believe it or not, 25% of all people who are trafficked in the world are children.
Okay.
Your child is 66% more likely to be picked up by human traffickers than to catch coronavirus and die. So
Oh,
it's
that's
a very
a great statistic to put out there. Yeah.
it's a very real issue, and it's a very real pandemic. Children are disappearing at an alarming rate, especially right now with being masked. Can you imagine your child walks in wearing a white mask, and before you're gone, that mask has been changed, their outfit has been changed, and you don't recognize them walking out the door? It actually is happening at an alarming rate, especially right now with coronavirus and everyone's faces being covered. They've recovered 39 children in Oklahoma, 26 in Georgia. I think there was another 14 in Tennessee, another 5 in Northern California. They're
Wow.
discovering trafficked children left and right across this country, and no one's making a sound. The media is not talking about it. It's very scary. The show Cuties on Netflix is pretty close to child pornography. It has little girls like grabbing themselves. They're like 12 years old, and like it's totally inappropriate for little children to be doing these types of things. So there's a large awareness happening within the community of saving our children and saving our children's innocence. I live in a community where 3 children were abused to death by their own family, and DCFS has failed to protect them. Their families were, DCFS was notified that the mom is abusing the kid, the boyfriend's abusing the kid, we need to remove them. And it wasn't just one person, it was teacher after teacher after teacher telling DCFS that there's a problem in these homes. DCFS did nothing, and 3 children in my community ended up dead at the hands of their own parents. So there's a child abuse, child trafficking, and just all in all, just awful things happening to our kids. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to get involved so heavily with the Save Our Children, because I can't make a kid. This doesn't work. I'm sorry, I'm gay. There's no way my husband and I can make a child with one another. So when I see, and I, like we said at the beginning, I will take a child. I value that life. I cannot create that. I can buy a child, sure, thousands of dollars adoption. I can foster and be paid to have a child. I don't want to be paid to have a child. I want a child of my own. And but I want to take a stand for these children who live in these communities and live in these homes that may not be the best for them. And with coronavirus, they don't have an escape. They can't go to school. They can't go from an abusive home to the school where they actually have a refuge. They don't have that right now. Now they're stuck. So we really need to bring awareness to the plight that lots of children are suffering right now, and we need to wake everybody up to that.
And you know what? I recognize that the other week that really what's happening, because I remember when I was a kid, a lot of child abuse was discovered by the teachers or by the school nurses. And now you have these kids that are just isolated at home with abusive parents. Now, I don't say that thinking everybody's abusive, of course. We're just
Right.
talking about the abusive people. people always will come back and say, "Oh, not everybody's abusive." I get it, I know, but they're at home with their abusive parents, and the thing is, I mean, the parents are human too, and they're probably stressed out with lack of money, lack of resources, and and plus also daycare. I would imagine a lot of people lost daycare,
Yeah.
so I agree. I'll tell you where we agree politically is we need to really just open it up. I think we need to open it up. And a lot of people will think that, and you know what, and I'm a disabled woman. And I say this knowing I'm a disabled woman, that the weak and the vulnerable would be more susceptible to the virus. But you know, Mario, do you ever remember a time where we ever wore masks for the flu? I don't
Never.
recall ever wearing a mask for the flu, or even any of the avian flus. You remember we had the swine
What,
flu, we had the avian
SARS and
flu.
swine flu and what was it, Ebola?
We had all those things, and here now we have this coronavirus, which, from what I understand, is a strain of the common cold. And it's like, I think everybody should just get it. We just get it. If you die, you die. If you don't, you don't. But we know such a small percentage will die, and it's unfortunate. But nobody cares about children dying in car accidents, which is the number one death for children. So I've
Right,
never seen anybody advocate taking cars off the road. You know,
right.
I mean, they'll put their children's lives in danger to go get a hamburger. But you know what I mean? So I
And
don't.
number two is drowning. Number two is drowning. I mean, all these people installing pools, getting
Right.
doughboys. Summer is a deadly time for children, and
Yeah.
these people are still out there buying all kinds of things, leaving their children unattended, and then you come out and there's a floaty in your pool.
Do you want to know? I'm friends with another show, and they're out of Tennessee. And
Oh,
I was watching the video of one of the men going on in the streets of Nashville, and he didn't wear a mask. He did this because they have found there have been emails that have leaked from somewhere within the Tennessee government that state that really they have had maybe 22 deaths in the state or in that county that are exclusively from COVID. It
yeah,
is coming out every day that very few people are dying from COVID alone, that the people who are dying are the ones who have one foot in the grave already. So, what, I don't know if, I think maybe we should just quarantine the sick. Stay away from your sick grandma if you have to, whatever. But it's like, the rest of us are dying right along with the people who are dying of COVID. So,
right.
and the country's dying, the culture is dying, everything is dying. So, you know what? I don't think it's doing us any favors by just sitting at home and or wearing a mask and not spending money and really supporting each other. It's funny, that's how you do support each other is you get out there and you spend money. You spend money and everybody prospers from it. So I
Yeah.
don't understand why we're doing all this. I don't get it.
I don't either. But like you said, we need to get out there. We need to exchange germs. This is part of developing our immune systems. You can't be
Yeah.
isolated. The boy in the bubble will never ever
You know,
leave his bubble if he
yeah,
doesn't leave his bubble at some point. That's the truth. The reason why sick children get sick often is because a lot of the times they either have an underlying condition or they were not exposed to the things that they play in the dirt. They never played in the dirt. That's the best way to explain it. They never played in the dirt. Um,
yeah, we all know
the
people like that, don't we?
Right.
Supernova. That's a question I'm getting from Periscope. I'm not familiar with this person, but she says against abortion but won't wear a mask. I
Hmm.
don't recall us ever discussing abortion, and I don't think that we've ever said that we don't wear a mask.
Right.
I yes, and I we and this woman right here is a perfect example of what's going on. We haven't even discussed this, honey. We haven't even talked about abortion, okay? And the fact that you would just say it's like you're making this statement so people
Hmm.
could look at it and get outraged, but we haven't even talked about it. But if you
I
want to
mean, I
talk
said I
about it,
value life.
huh?
I said I value life.
Right. It's funny because people say, and it's funny. She'll talk about abortion, but I thought that was a woman's issue. Why should Mario even talk about it then? Why do you want to hear Mario's opinion if his opinion doesn't matter?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be pregnant without a man.
Oh, see, I guess they kind of forget about that, didn't they?
They do.
And okay, so first of all, abortion. I've never even talked about it, but you want to know what I saw today online? I saw somebody say, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was nothing but a lump of cells.
Well, technically, she died. It's post-birth abortion.
Right. So I mean, what are you a lump of? So what difference does it make how old the lump of cells is? Right.
Right.
I mean, are we do we put age on the cells? It's okay if they, why is it okay if they just don't die? I mean, do people mourn the abortions like they're mourning people the lump of cells that die in their 90s? I don't know. I don't get it. When it comes to abortion, people, I don't have an opinion. I'll just put it that way. I don't have an opinion because I'm a woman who doesn't have a uterus.
Let's see. There you go.
Okay, so what about Mario? Do you want to share, or do you just?
My opinion.
Yeah.
I believe that the woman has the right to choose.
Right.
I believe a woman should make the choice as early as possible. I believe a woman shouldn't be waiting 4 months, 5 months, 6 months to have an abortion. I feel that there's plenty of options to prevent pregnancy, and also in the unlikely event that oops it happens, there is plan B. There are lots of different options to terminate and prevent pregnancy. So for me, choosing abortion would be a last resort, not birth control. So I love life. I'm not going to judge someone differently. I've had someone tell me they're going to give me a baby and then choose to abort that baby. So I have people say you have no skin in the game, but I've already had skin in the game, and I have to be okay with that decision.
Right. And see, I guess my point is, like you said, I'm very much like you in your beliefs, which kind of goes against what people have already been automatically thinking in the chat. You know, oh no, you care, against abortion, against the mask, honey. You're against abortion too. I think everybody's against abortion. Nobody is going to sit there and say abortion's a good thing. I don't think they would. I mean, really, nobody is going to cheer for abortion. Okay,
You'd be surprised.
nobody.
Some of these people I've seen, they
Well,
do.
yeah, I guess they do. But I think
I
a
saw this
little.
girl on TikTok. She was all excited. She TikToked her entire abortion. She was so excited about it. And I just was really, really sad.
I mean, okay, this is the thing. Well, of course,
Adults are getting weirder by the day.
What virus says a woman has a right to choose. Who the hell said they don't?
Right.
See, that's another one of those statements. That's another one of those statements. Is that what you call gaslighting? Is that what you'd call
That's
that?
exactly what you call that.
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, this is the easiest time to be a woman. I mean, come on, you can have sex with everybody. The next day you can go take the morning after pill. You know what I mean? They have a morning after pill. Then they have another pill. I mean, a lot of times you can just get will just detach from the uterus and go into the toilet. If that's what you want to do, that's your business. But we all know, I've known women like this who get knocked up by different men. And if they don't like the guy all of a sudden for whatever reason because he was cheating, then, well, now where am I going to get rid of this 4-month fetus? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand that. And maybe because I don't have a uterus, I don't understand it. But I kind of think like, okay, I'm just going to put out there. I know a girl who, she was a Hispanic girl. And I'm only saying that because it matters, because she aborted her baby because she was afraid that the skin would be too dark. Okay. I knew a girl like that. Yes. So it's like, because the guy who knocked her up was very dark. Okay. So we all know that happens, and it happens in the brown and black community, that mindset. We know that. And it's like, I didn't. Was I supposed to be happy for her? Was I supposed to?
I mean, do we throw a party for her?
Right. Should I throw a funeral? What do you do at that moment? Why are you sharing it with me? Like, why are you telling me this? It's like,
Right.
to me, that's something private. And so I think if it's private, maybe we shouldn't hear about it. You know,
Right.
is it really private if people on TikTok are filming their abortion? So is it really a private moment between a woman and her doctor? So I don't know. I don't get it. But yes, and Elizabeth, I do know a girl like that. I do. So to say that, oh, you don't want abortion, but you don't want to wear a mask either, so you can kill everybody. That's what they're equating it to, is murder. Whatever. It's just annoying. It really is annoying. So Mario, so let's move on to something else. I have a list of questions.
Yes,
We're wrapping this up. I know we've been here for an hour, and I know your hamburger is getting cold. Um,
it's good.
I was. What is your favorite word? Do you have a word that you think is your favorite word? I got these questions off
That's a good
inside the
one.
actor's studio.
Okay.
Inside the actor's studio. And I just did it honestly because I'm lazy and that this is the first time I'm doing this and I'm trying to find my own way. So I'm kind of using these
Let's do
questions.
it. My favorite word is flawless.
Flawless? Is that
Flawless. Yes.
uh well, yeah, wouldn't that be perfect if everything was flawless?
If
Yeah,
everything is flawless.
it's perfection, right?
That's right.
You know what, Virus 2020, you could abort this interview anytime you want, honey. Anytime you want. Anytime. Okay. What else? What turns you on?
What turns me on?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Food? Food is always exciting. Um,
Yeah.
no, my spouse, 100% all the time.
Oh, so how long have you been with your spouse?
16 years.
And that is a long time in the gay community.
We've lived several lifetimes in the gay community. We've lived through several different friend groups, and we've outlived most of our even heterosexual friends, our relationship.
That's true. I mean most marriages or relationships, more than 50% are now divorcing or breaking up. So, and the number gets bigger every year.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
What sound do I love? Um, I don't I don't want to say any one sound. I just love the sound of music. Period in general. I come from a very busy house. I grew up with three younger brothers. We One of them is a musician and we always had music in the house. So even when I'm home alone, I either have the TV on or I have music. So music is one of those things that I have to have all the time. So whatever, whether it's Disney, whether it's rock, whether it's rap, whether it's hip hop, R&B, country, oldies, hip, doo wop, Motown, classic rock, heavy metal, K-pop, J-pop, all of it. I listen to every type of music.
You guys, I'm posting mariopresents.com. Mario is a blogger and an activist, okay? And you'll see that on his blog. He's a very smart guy. I've posted mariopresents.com in the chat in the different platforms. So if you want, go look at it. He has a lot of interesting readings on there. He has a great perspective. And I want to ask you another question. What's your favorite cuss word?
My favorite cuss word, it probably has to be something in Spanish. Usually it's frustration, hijo de tu madre, which literally means son of a bitch.
Okay.
Because that was something that my parents would always say when they were frustrated, be like, hijo de tu madre, like son of a bitch. Like, I don't know, that's just, it rolls off the tongue so well.
And what profession other than the one, okay, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Would I like to attempt? Okay, which means that I haven't done it yet. Motorcycle racing.
Wow, how interesting. You know, I
I
I
like to go fast.
I grew up riding motorcycles. My grandparents had motorcycles, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that would be great. Remember Evil Knievel?
Oh yes, yes, Evil Knievel jumping over the things. Woo! That was so cool.
And and I would imagine there's a portion of this audience who doesn't realize that gay men could do rodeo, motorcycles, and that the classic butch stuff.
Right.
Ange says, "Hi, Hoggy. Hi, Mario. This is so refreshing to watch. Thank you." Well, thank you, Ange. That's
Thank
sweet.
you.
Very sweet. And thank you for that tip, honey. Ange is she's in the UK. I can't remember exactly where she's at. And very sweet. Thank you. Um, Virus 2020. Maybe you'll want to take this, Mario. Remember children not being in cages?
I do remember children not being in cages. Children were not in cages under the Bush administration, but they were in cages under the Obama administration. That's where all those pictures came out. But they want to blame President Trump when it was actually Obama putting these children in cages. So I do remember children in cages not being in cages, and that was before we had Democrat President Obama.
And let's be honest. Let's be honest. I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting that people actually believe that there were never detention centers or cells or
Right.
holding tanks. They've just changed the word to cages. Well,
Right.
I would like to know what do they think is going to happen when you have caravans of people approaching a border of a sovereign nation, and there's people there to protect the borders. What do you do with those people? You detain them. You put them
Right.
in cells. So you could process them. Well, what happens when you end up with hundreds or thousands of them? You make makeshift cells. You might
Yeah.
call it a cage, and maybe you call it a cage because you think they're animals. Okay?
Right.
But we don't call them
Mm.
cages. We don't call them cages. We call them cells,
Right.
holding tanks, things like that. Only somebody who wants to dehumanize the children would call them
Right.
cages.
Dehumanize people.
Right.
Oh,
So I
that's a virus right there in and of itself. Dehumanizing people and saying that they belong in cages. That's a real sad thing.
right. Why would you do that? I mean, I think it's interesting that there are people out there who think it's horrible to call a murderer an animal. Really? But yet it's so funny. They think it's terrible for you to call a murderer an animal, yet they will call children basically animals, and they'll say that they're in cages. But
Right.
you're the one calling them an animal by saying they're in a cage. Okay.
Right.
Virus says the country is made of immigrants. Honey, every country is made of immigrants. Okay. What are you taking us back to elementary school or what? We get that. We get that. We get it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Captain Obvious.
Yes, I mean here we have Mario who actually says you're welcome. He's actually native to this country and he welcomes immigrants as well, including
I
the
do.
Europeans. Okay, so
Including the European immigrants.
I don't understand the point you're making, Virus. What point are you making? We understand, honey. We get it. We come from immigrants, but you know what? I'm a native Californian, and I want to. Why am I a native Californian, but I'm not a Native American? I don't know. We, oh, all these things don't make sense when you
None
really
of it
look.
makes sense.
Okay, well, Mario, I guess I didn't put a time frame on this, so um, but that's really all I have, and I want to thank
Okay.
you. Do you have anything you want to say or add or plug or anything? Do you
Oh
have
my
any? Do
goodness.
you have any events coming up?
I do. I have an event coming up this weekend. If you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area, I'm going to be going to Dallas Fort Worth. We're going to be doing a meet and greet with myself, Lady Maga, and Pete Gomez. We're three unicorns, three conservatives who happen to be gay. And we're on the front lines. We go do rallies in our local communities. We travel to do rallies, and we just want to have a nice informal meet and greet this coming Saturday at Risky's Barbecue at the Stockyards in Fort Worth, starting at about 2:30. So if you just get there about 3, we should be full swing, having a grand old time. It's very informal. Just show up. There is no reservations. The place doesn't actually accept large group reservations, so it's first come, first serve. So we're just going to be there and mingling with people. We're going to take questions. We're going to let people know who we are, what we're doing, and hopefully get people excited for voting in November, and at the same time welcoming other people who are maybe slightly different than themselves into this giant conservative tent.
And besides, do you have any local things? I know we probably have people from our area. I know we're both in
Okay.
Southern California. Do you I notice you do a lot of rallies, protests, and marches.
I
And
do.
is there anything coming up?
Coming up, let me think here. I know the following weekend there's a hike up to the Hollywood sign. I don't know
Oh,
how involved. My husband isn't a huge hiker, so
right.
going up that big giant hill 10 miles might be a little bit of a lot.
Did
But
you
I
say
do know that that's coming up.
10 miles?
I believe it's 10 miles. I believe it's 10 miles. And you know, I can probably do about a mile and a half, maybe 5 miles, but 10 miles, like
Right.
that's a little bit of a lot for me.
So that
And
those
then
those are going to be the pros up there, aren't they?
those are going to be the pros. And, these feet are not made for hiking. These feet are made for working that corner in those beautiful shoes.
Oh yes, yes. Mario? Can I ask you something? Are your
Yes.
feet shaped in like a Barbie?
Sometimes I wish they were. Sometimes
Yeah.
I wish they were. But I'm such a short person. People don't realize how tiny I am because when I take off my shoes, I'm really, really tiny. I'm about 5'2", 5'3". I'm a very small man, but that's what made me a very good bull rider, is that I was very small and stout. So when I wear my shoes, I'm extremely tall. And when I'm in the kitchen and I'm doing stuff around the house, most cabinetry is made for someone 5'7", 5'11", right in that range. I'm 5 inches lower than all of that. So most of my time in the house doing things in general, I'm on my toes. I hate to be like a midget, but yes, like a midget, always reaching, always trying to reach the top. So being on my toes is normal. When I wear the heels, I get to rest while I'm on my toes.
Wow, how interesting. I want to show the audience this picture of you. This is Mario in his heels, and it states, "I might be gay, but I'm not stupid." That's a really good picture of you. Do
Thank
you
you.
do you remember where that's at?
That was in Albuquerque. We were in Albuquerque. That was my first Trump rally. I went with my friend, the adorable, deplorable Christopher Drew, who's a wonderful hairdresser. He and
Oh
I
wow.
decided to take a, road trip across the Southwest, and we drove in one fair shot all the way across the Southwest from Los Angeles to Albuquerque. We camped the night out. We met Brick Suit. The next morning, it was the
Uh-huh.
Trump rally at 9 o'clock, and I spent the entire day like that.
And what about this picture? Do you have a story behind this picture?
I do. That is the Save the Children's rally in Hollywood. As you can see, my friends to the right and to the left of me are they are people of color. They're very good friends of mine. We were there to march on Netflix and remind them that promoting pedophilia, promoting inappropriate dance moves for children is not okay. We wanted to raise awareness that, for instance, Tom Hanks hasn't tweeted anything since May 22nd, when he was tweeting pictures of socks and shoes and children's pacifiers, and all of a sudden he's a resident of Greece. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in Hollywood, and we were on the Hollywood Walk of Fame trying to raise awareness to the trafficking of children, to the abuse of our children, and to the early sexualization of our children.
I do recognize you were actually in Hollywood. I could see the stars on the street.
Yeah.
Wow. And I just want, before I show the last picture, I just want to I've had a great time, and I'm getting a lot of positive feedback. People really enjoy this, and they really enjoy you. Carrie
Good.
T says, "I absolutely love this idea of guest hosts. I love this question and answer session. So glad to get to know Mario and his views." Carrie's was the one who couldn't wait to see what you wore. She really,
Oh,
yeah,
this
that's
is
I.
okay. This is a custom shirt. My friend Alma made this. She made a couple of these. It has Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez all sad, because all her friends are being thrown off the helicopter, all her Antifa buddies. the back of it, I did wear it to a Trump rally. It was a little offensive.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I
But,
posted that on my page. Yes, I did.
it's we've gone head to head, toe to toe with these extremists, and we're want to tell them that we're not afraid of them. So I wanted to make sure that I showed any extremists that, hey, I'm a little different. Just because I wear heels doesn't mean I can't be a cool dude too.
Okay, so I'm gonna post this last picture. And I want you to be honest, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to be honest about this. I have been. People say I look like Mr. Blobby. Do you think I look like Mr. Blobby?
I think you look better than Mr. Blobby. I think Mr. Blobby is taking a page from your paint book, because I think you are much more attractive than Mr. Blobby.
Thank you. It's just, yeah, people, they really do try to mess with you, and they try to bring you down, Mario. And I know you understand that. You understand people who want to tear you down and make you feel bad about yourself. And Mario, you're really a great example of dynamite comes in small packages.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate what you do. Whether we meet minds politically or not, I think you're a man with a great heart, and you've expressed a lot of love and genuine concern for children in the United States, and not only that, children at the border. You care about the kids at the border, and you'd much rather them not be there. They shouldn't be.
I really would much rather them stay with their parents and their parents not send them to some strange country with some strange person in hoping that they're going to have a better life. I think that children should be with their parents, and their parents should take responsibility and love their children.
Right. Well, Mario, I want to thank you, and thank you
Thank you,
for
Hogatha.
popping my cherry, as you put it.
Yes, and thank you for Trough Talk. This was fun. I very much enjoyed this.
Yeah. So this is something I think I want to continue doing. Uh, you know, uh, the hog trough talk. How about
There
that?
you go.
Okay, you guys. So we're gonna sign off for now. Again, I want to thank you, Mario. Again, you're a great guy. You've had a positive influence on the audience. I could see it. A lot of people like you, and you guys go
Thank you.
visit Mario at Mario Presents. He has his own blogging website, mariopresents.com. You could also find him on Facebook. I will post that right now. Mario.
Presents.
He is a
Mario
Mario.
Presents. Mario Presents
Mario
on Instagram as well.
He has a very active Facebook, filled with stories and pictures and views and everything else. So thanks again, Mario. Okay.
Thank you, Hogatha.
And thanks everybody for joining us. Bye.